Bread rolls and croissants with preserves and café au lait and orange juice pursued us throughout the rest of Morocco. Rolling through the country was a delight to me. Jean and I generally sat together on the machine, and she didn't want the window seat. For long ages of time, I looked out the window at the not relatively desert geography. I could see ever across slightly undulating geography of a dull cinnamon color, touched by might backwoods. Occasionally indifferent scapegoats wandered across my view. Sometimes, in the distance, I saw a large Bedouin roof hutment. Their long, dark canopies blended into the geography as if they were a natural point. As we drove through townlets and municipalities, I was intrigued by the variety of women's dresses. Some wore traditional dress and some wore Western styles, indeed among professionals and office workers. Within a group walking together, about half would be in one style or the other. To my imagination, it sounded that a woman would wake up in the morning and choose traditional or Western dress just for that day, maybe choosing else on another day. Lunch on the road was heavy for some and light for others. Supposedly, if you went into the dining room, you ate the full lunch. I stayed on the sun deck, as did many others, despite cool, cloudy rainfall. I had lentils in a small quantum of broth with a 2-inch cell of beef in the middle of the haze plate. Stylish of all, they served the original chuck that's leavened but is a low, round loaf 2.5 grandly, 10 across. The flour sounded to be unbleached white and coarser than we have. Delicious. I had a 7-Up Sea Vein IP, failing to understand any other of the names offered. The motorist took pity on my single state and came to drink coffee with me, although I steadfastly refused coffee, in compliance with my stomach when traveling. We had a sprinkling of French between us. The armature in Marrakech was unique, at least I had no way seen it ahead. Indeed, large new structures were designed in a heavy style of large blocks cut through with blockish entrances and windows. The finish was red complexion in color, although maybe further ultramodern accoutrements were now used. The sense was of a megacity confident in its major identity. Because this was a large machine stint, we didn't get to alight and take prints. I tried to make an internal film land that would last. Unfortunately, questions weren't encouraged. The commentary was scripted and delivered in English, French, and German. I rehearsed my French by hearkening precisely to that commentary, basically the same as the English pattern. The tagine this evening was near to stew than the bone we had in Fez. It had several different vegetables, similar to tomatoes and green sap. 1989 October 11th Wednesday Marrakech. Lunch was the hostel mess moment, because of the special fantasia tonight. It was a gauze of excellent, and changing dishes. My tastes were a white fish fried in a light cream sauce, deliciously spiced saffron rice with carrot common component, veritably smooth dark tasting spinach, crisp French green sap, tattered carrot, and delicate nut torte with godly snips of chocolate. Fantasia was fantastic. It was offered in a purpose erected out-of-door yard many long halls outside Marrakech. As we came through the gates of the thick walls, horsewomen in desert caparison saluted us, also vocalizers and drummers, also women hop keening. A great bow-wow as we walked along the red carpet. Just as we came to huge canopies set in a U, women threw rose petals. We were led past the gigantic honorific roof at the base of the U. A minister from Guinea or Ghana, I suppose that means the companion didn't know, was visiting and being recognized by the Moroccan counterpart. Hairpieces and cocoons were spread around box shapes erected up from the bottom. We were led to a large, endless roof on one side. Inside were 8 to 10 diminutive tables for 8 with small chairpersons. Around the sides of the roof were gentle banks for seating. The decor was on a gold and white theme. After some time, our companion Antonio brought around Chuck. He putatively allowed the waiters weren't attentive enough, although we saw them rushing about seating dozens of sightseer groups. The Chuck was in large, round, deep baskets 24 elevations across, with high conical handbasket lids. Each table was distributed 4 bottles of wine, a good quantum since only half our table drank wine. I stayed with the red of full-bodied, full-season Moroccan wine. All the wines have been good, a strange character for a Muslim country. In all the cafes they only drink coffee or mint tea. The haze course was the succulent, kindly anonymous, thin haze we've come to anticipate. This bone had lentils in it. As we ate these courses at a relaxed pace, the hop and drummers and vocalizers who saluted us rambled in for short performances. One set was racy, and the women picked out men in the followership, especially those in jalabas, to dance lewd scenes with them. This of course made for rumbustious entertainment and excellent digestion. The tagine we were served was the one I have a form for, with prunes and angel, juicy, tender and delicate flavors. Also came the couscous. This was a disappointment, it was far too mild, although the vegetables carrots, celery, tomatoes, onions, were good. The couscous at lunch was a bit gamey, especially with commodities like curry flavors. The couscous looked veritably seductive on a large tableware server, large, pale, round with the various vegetables in the center. Kate was a commodity I had no way ahead encountered. My stylish conjecture was that it was commodity like phyllo confection, deep-fried, arranged on a large charger, dribbled with a slightly sweet cream sauce, sprinkled with nuts and cinnamon. The result was relatively addicting, rather like a Kate interpretation of nachos, where you just keep picking, in malignancy of your appetite. The steed exertion from the field in the center of the U detracted us from regale. Antonio had told us it would be put on again latterly, but a director came by to say we had better look now and have coffee and fruit latterly. A welcome interim in any case. Preliminarily, I had seen them hop out on the field. Now the horsewomen were writing history, brandishing old ordnance. They gathered at the far end, for surge after surge of the gusto to the guests. The idea, from my Nigerian experience, was to dash as presto as possible and pull up as short as possible in front of the guests. I suppose they did it more dangerously in the bone I saw in Nigeria, but also I was in front and not at the side. It was thrilling. These fellows let off their muskets with great sparking as they pulled up. A couple of riders did some trick riding, but the Duce sisters at the rush were better. These manly riders would presumably be shocked and dismayed to suppose some women in Canada were better than them. The whole show came to an end with a long and spectacular fireworks show. That crowned with the spelling in the fire of Fantasia Marrakech. Excellent entertainment that gave a real sense for carnivals then.